Okay, Adventurous Ones, this is the last day of Star Wars Week here on the channel, and we're wrapping things up with the reprint of the original issue number 1 that started it all, Star Wars. Welcome to the Comic Book Review Show. It's time we get started. Welcome back for a new episode of the Comic Book Review and our last day of Star Wars Week here on the channel. And we're celebrating with none other than the very first issue of Star Wars. From 1977 when the movie first came out, and they did, Marvel Comics did an adaptation, a 6-part adaptation and stuff that had some issues because there were they had to do a reprint of a certain issue and stuff, and it had to be put back out to the public and so on and so forth, because when the movie came out, certain things weren't matching the adaptation, so they had to do a reprint of a certain issue, bring it back and say, okay, this to this to this, you know, and so on and so forth. Then, when Dark Horse got their hands on the comics license for Star Wars and stuff, Dark Horse did a 2-part miniseries that combined the first 3 issues in part 1 and the last 3 issues in part 2, making it only 2 books instead of 6 books. So, let's get into this. We're going to crack this sucker wide open. We're putting on gloves, even though this is a reprint, okay, or as many like to call that dirty word, facsimile, okay? It's still a reprint, damn it. Anyways, we're going to put on some gloves. We're going to look this sucker over and show you what it's all about. So, we'll be right back, and you need to stick around. Alright, Adventurous Ones. Here is Star Wars issue number 1. Now this came out in July of 1977. And the same time, around the same time as the movie came out and stuff. And the whole thing with this comic miniseries, this 6-part miniseries and stuff, is that they were going by what was considered George Lucas's original scripting for it and stuff. Okay, not the one that he went with and stuff. More like the one that he was going to go with. It's still the space battle at the beginning and stuff. Only Luke is out there seeing all this with his binocular things and stuff, and I think they're called macro binoculars or something like that. And it tells on here what's going on. 3PO and R2 seeing the battle taking place between stormtroopers and everything. None of this actually happened in the movie. Okay? And Vader coming in like he did, grabs Captain Antilles, strangling the life out of him and stuff to find out where are the Death Star plans and everything else in between. What have you done with the plans? And there's 3PO seeing R2 getting the plans put inside him by Leia. As you can see, there's original advertising in here. Look at that, young Arnold Schwarzenegger. Young Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then you see the escape and everything else in between. Now, in this, it shows Leia was shot in the shoulder. Okay, Leia was not shot in the shoulder at all. The weapons were set for stun, and she just got blat and stunned like that and stuff. This showed Leia getting shot in the shoulder and stuff. Okay, then on top of that, after what happened there and everything, we see Luke come to Tashi Station, or Anchorhead, excuse me, and he sees his old buddy Biggs and stuff, and their other 2 friends and everything, and he tells him about what's going on up there, the space battle and shit. They don't believe him even after they look and with the macro binoculars there and stuff, and there's nothing going on. There's no battle anymore and anything else in between. And again, we got the old school advertising. And then here is where Vader's confronting Leia, asking her what she did with the plans and stuff. And she says, I don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Back on Tatooine, 3PO and R2 are in the desert. The Jawas get them. Which is interesting, because the Jawas originally got C-3PO first. This one shows that they got R2 first. So that's why I said there's a lot of things in this comic, in the first issue of this comic, that do not match up to what was in the movie. Same thing where Biggs is telling him that he's leaving to join the, he's leaving from the Imperial Academy. He's going to go join the Rebel Alliance and stuff. And he wants Luke to go with him. Luke won't go with him. He says he can't. He's got too much to do and everything else in between, which is his Uncle Owen talking, and it's just a bunch of nonsense. Here you see the Imperial officers when Vader and Tarkin. And Tarkin's even different in this. His facial features and everything else in between. He doesn't look like Grand Moff Tarkin that we seen in the movie, played by the late Peter Cushing. Okay? This is a totally different way of everything. Then you see that 3PO and R2 are captured. They see the Jawas opening up the thing, and they think they're doomed, and instead they're being put up for sale. This is how they meet Uncle Owen, Aunt Beru, and Luke. And the droid that malfunctions that they were going to take is R5-D4, and he malfunctions like he does in the movie and stuff. Now, one thing that was interesting about the Star Wars comics back in the day and stuff is this thing here. They were telling things about the story that's going on, and a lot of times they were doing letters and stuff from people as well that seen the movie and says that, oh, I can't wait to see how you're going to do this and everything else in between. And again, advertisement, and the last couple of pages, the last few pages here, lots of advertising in these comics back in the day. And here you see Luke about to discover the message from Leia. Then he tells Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru about it, which, by the way, look at Aunt Beru. She doesn't have old hair and stuff like that. She doesn't have gray hair and stuff, or grayish whatever hair and stuff. She has dark hair. And so it's like, what in the world? Yeah. So he gets into it with Uncle Owen over things and stuff. And then he comes in there. 3PO gets activated by the, restraining bolt. And he tells him R2-D2 ran away. They got to go look for him and stuff. And so on and so forth. Now, another thing that was in this comic adaptation's first issue is this part here. When they were sitting there saying, about someone was in the pod. The tracks go off in this direction. And the guy said, the one trooper picks up a metal piece and says, "Look, sir, droids." And that's when we saw in the special edition things that Lucas wanted to add in there, like how there were dewbacks that they got over there on dewbacks and stuff, and that there was an Imperial shuttle taking off and shit. Here we see where the Sand People are clocking Luke and 3PO coming into their territory, and so on and so forth. Another advertisement for Hostess cakes back in the day. And here we are. They find this is where Luke and R2 and 3PO are all reunited and stuff. And look at Luke's face. That doesn't look like Luke Skywalker at all. Yeah, that doesn't look like how Mark Hamill looks at all. He looks older looking and stuff. And the first issue ends with them getting confronted by the Sand People, the Tusken Raiders, and 3PO falling off the cliff, and it ends on a cliffhanger like, will Luke die? You know, or will he live? Find out next issue. And then you jump out of that, and there's your advertising again, and even advertising for Spalding basketball. Anyways, that's it for the first issue, Adventurous Ones. Let's find out how we did on it. Let's tell you our final thoughts and give you our final thing on this review. Stick around. So what'd you think of that, Adventurous Ones? This was one hell of a story to start things off and everything. That was the original Star Wars movie, A New Hope. Okay? Meeting new characters, finding out different things that was not in the movie compared to this comic book adaptation and so on and so forth. There's a lot here going on, and you never know what else is going to take place in this thing. I mean, it makes you want to pop on the original movie and start comparing notes. So, when the movie came out in 1977, it was slew of merchandise right afterwards and stuff. The comic book adaptation came out as well, and was a 6-part miniseries. And it did not not all of the issues played out the same as what was in the movie itself. But issue number 1 pretty much followed the same notes, was going the attack on the Tanative 4 ship, the capture of Princess Leia, the droids escaping with the Death Star plans, and so on and so forth. Okay? There are other things that were different in this mini-series as well, this comic book mini adaptation as well. Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt made an appearance in this issue. Oh, in not this issue, but I believe it was issue 2. Yeah, issue 2. In which he was in it, and he was not human, but like an alien. Okay, not like Jabba the Hutt as we know him and stuff like that now, but as like a alien that's walking on 2 legs and everything else in between. And him and Han were having a little conversation with each other and stuff, the Falcon. However, that was not in the movie. And that's part of the reason why when Dark Horse got their hands on the comics license and stuff and reprinted the, into 2 books instead of 1 and 6, okay, they changed that. They took Jabba the Hutt out of the damn thing. So, yeah, that's something I noticed. I didn't notice before until I went back and looked at my original adaptation part of it from Dark Horse, and I said, they took Jabba the Hutt out because he was not in the original movie. And on top of that, when the special edition came out, Jabba the Hutt was depicted in his actual form. See? Changes happen, people. Anyways, let's hear your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And this is the end of Star Wars Week here on the channel. I hope you enjoyed it, and all I can say is, may the Force be with all of you. And I hope you all enjoy the month of May, and go see Star Wars, Mandalorian, and Grogu. Okay? It's the first time ever since 2019 that we're finally getting a Star Wars movie in theaters again. No more Disney Plus TV miniseries or anything else in between. This is an actual theatrical movie. Get out there and support it. Even if you're one of those people that just want to complain about every damn thing and say, it's Disney trash, blah, blah, blah. Just get out there and support it. You might enjoy it. Okay? Pull your head out of your ass. Touch grass. Whatever. Anyways, that's it for this one, Adventurous Ones. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss on anything I've still got coming up on this channel in 2026. There's always more on the way. You never know what's going to be on this channel unless you hit the bell and set it to all. And if you want to be a part of our May giveaway here on the channel, head over to that video right now And enter that, follow the 3 rules of it, by the way. Follow the rules of the video, okay? They're important. And enter the hashtag Road to 1K in the comment section of the giveaway video. So we'll know that you want to be a part of the giveaway, okay? So until the next time, Adventurous Ones, until we make the next trip to the galaxy far, far away, review, peace out, may the Force be with all of you. And every last one of y'all have a safe, lovely, and beautiful week out there. Take care of yourselves, your family, your friends, your pets, loved ones in general. And be smart out there, people. Don't do stupid shit, and don't listen to stupid idiots either. Because they like to run their mouths, but not get themselves in trouble, but get you in trouble. Use the brains in your heads, people. That's what they're there for. Get home safely to the people that love and care about you the most, alright? Every single chance you have, you let them know how much you love and care for them in return. Because there are no more second chances anymore. You could walk out that door, say I'm gonna say I love you, so they say I love you to you, you don't say nothing. You may not be walking back in that door the next time around. Or it could be vice versa with them. So every chance you have, make them count. Tell those people in your life how much you love and care for them in return. Until then, take care. God bless to all of you out there. Please remain safe. We'll see you all later.